Welcome everybody. My name is François Letarte for my role-playing channel, and yeah, I'm having a break into my car, so why not make a video? And this is something I had in my mind. I wanted to share that with you. It's what I think of game modules and an experiment I did that confirms what I think of them. So yeah, what do I think of game modules? Well, I like them, okay? But it's not my preferred way to run a game. I prefer to go with my own stuff and follow the players into where they want to go. And when I run modules, I do run it like the players might go where they want to go, and it often screws up what the module is all about. So I do prefer that, but I did run many modules. I think the game where I ran the most modules was Star Wars First Edition D6. For the mostly all of the West End game modules, I did them. And I also made modules for when I was running Stormbringer or something like that. So yeah, because I wanted to have someone else to have written the background of the context of the game, and yeah, and not to think about it. But it was a long time ago. So yeah, I knew that I was preferring not running module, okay, running my own stuff. In the last school year, I did an experiment, but if I begin a little before that, yeah, I run a lot of high schools groups with teenagers in different contexts, in person, online. It depends on the gig that I have. And well, 2 years ago, I decided that every group, after character creation, looking at what kind of character they were, I decided to present them a different starting point and just follow them. They all had a very different adventure, okay? It was very fun, but it was very time consuming, okay? Keeping track of all those was some sort of a challenge. I had to take notes after a session, just not to forget about things, because when the notes were taken, I already had to forget them because I was to prepare the next game session for another group and read their notes of what I've written the week earlier that I already forgotten about. So it was a challenge to keep track of all that, and I had to be disciplined, and it was very time consuming. But at the end, it paid out. It paid off because it was a blast. It was a great fun to run. But with the last school year, when it began, I was thinking, well, I should find a way to save time. So there came the game module. I said, well, why not learn one game module, and that would be the module for every different group. So yes, they would go in all sorts of direction, and probably the plot in the module will be screwed out, but at least I will have the same basic for everyone. So did it save time? Yeah, in a sense it did save time. Was it a challenge to keep track of? Well, yeah, and since it was going in all sorts of direction, yeah, I still had to keep track of what every group were doing, but it was a little more easy because it was a little more easy to do because yeah, I already had the basics of the module. Was it more fun? That's where it lost a little of its sparkle. Well, the module, it was pretty straightforward. Okay, it was a low-level module. By the way, the module I ran was A Delve in the Cave. It's a third-party module for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, written by Jamie Chambers. Maybe some of you knows about this guy. He worked. He was behind the first Cortex game system and many of its role-playing game that came out at the same time back in the day, like the Serenity role-playing game, for example. And he also worked on the kind of newest version of Metamorphosis Alpha, the kind of its fifth incarnation, with a all different game system than the original Metamorphosis Alpha. So yeah, I have this game. I have tried it. Maybe someday I will talk to you about this. But yeah, we'll come back to A Delve in the Cave, Jamie Chambers, that I decided to use for all of my groups. So, like I said, was it more fun? That's where it was not that much fun. Okay, it was not bad, but it was, I knew about the plot, and I was ready to explode in every way, but I knew that it would be a hard time to get back to kind of the plot. Even though there's not a written plot story over there, but there's something going on into that module. There's a village investigation, so they have hints of what is going on in a cavern that is beyond the forest that they had to go through. Very dangerous forest. And then in the cavern, there's an evil mage who wants to open the gate of the shadow world to have shadow peoples invade the kingdom. I had 4 groups with that module. The first one, let's say the first one that succeeded the module was the group that were more tied to how the module is presented. Okay, they got through all of the steps, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, but in the end, they got their investigation right. They got through the forest with some dangers, and they got to the cavern and defeated the evil mage, and they were victorious. They had fun. Okay, by the way, they had fun, but it was pretty straightforward. Okay, they were proud of themselves. Okay, another group with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, the players were kind of messing around and doing all sorts of unnecessary stuff. They kind of got through the module, but they lost in a sense. Okay, they were not victorious. The evil mage did won. They succeed. Okay, the module wants you to win against the guy, but at the same time, the players had to learn a lesson about something. If you're messing around doing all sorts of useless stuff, well, the evil mage is doing his stuff at the same time, and they knew that they had to stop the guy or mess with him in a sense. So they knew all about this, but they decided to go everywhere. And when it came to try to defeat the mage, well, the mage kind of succeeded, and the shadow world opened on their kingdom. And yeah, and that's how they ended the campaign. They were happy, by the way. They had fun. And what is interesting about that ending is that if for some reasons I do play again with them in another high school assignment, I'd probably take that into account. Now the shadow world has even invaded your world, so it's like they have to deal with it. Whatever the adventure they will get to, what is it, to try to get the shadow people back into their world, or will it be they have a mission but they are surrounded by shadow people like zombies in The Walking Dead? Okay, so but it's interesting to kind of lose a module, again, in their sense. Another group, well, mostly did the module like it was supposed to, but they kind of dealt with parallel universe that were just not in the modules. It was just appropriate to what they were going through. And well, the evil mage, they kind of they defeated him in one round. The players had a pretty good plan, and that fight was not a challenge. The big boss in the end was in one round. He was down, he was dead, it was over. But they had a good plan, so I can't go against that. They were clever. They cleverly prepared that battle and just succeeded. It was fun. Okay, in that group, okay, by the time I had with them, I had kind of 5 sessions left, okay, where they succeeded the adventure, and I got with them, I decided to see where they wanted to go. And then it was a blast because suddenly it sparkled up, all the sparkles came out, and I was doing stuff following where they wanted to go, how they want to handle the stuff, okay, how they want to interact with the world. So it was, and then the last 5 sessions were kind of the best, okay. Eye action, tension, and all of that stuff. The last group I ran, Delve in the Cave, well, during the village investigation, some of the thing that happens in that village is that the people in the night becomes possessed, and they're kind of zombies. So, they kind of panicked because probably I was rolling well against them, but and they decided, let's screw that, let's go home. And yeah, they knew that the problem was over there. They had already the hints of that, but they decided, no, we're going that way. So they kind of just say, fuck the module, without saying it, without really knowing if I had a module or not. But they just decided to go on the other way. And I wasn't there to tell them, well, you should. No, there wasn't, you should do this or that. I just followed them. And rapidly, their adventure became quite interesting. I was following them, but I was also showing them consequences of not dealing with the problem. Okay, what is happening? And they had to deal with the problem, but by their own means, going where they want to go and using the stuff that they have, trying to make their own plans, not having something that is already planned into a module. Okay, so they have to deal with it, and it was a lot of fun. They too get into some sort of a parallel universe, defeating a dragon that was over there that had basically nothing to do with the module, but I kind of tied the dragon to what was going on with the evil mage and all that, and decided that the evil mage was one of their old ally, someone who played with them last year and didn't come back. So it had up to the drama. Say, okay, I just jazzed it up. Okay, so in the end, the experiment showed me that when I let the player loose and let them choose, and not expecting them to follow some of prepared leads, it was way more fun. I had a lot of fun in doing that. So yeah, I probably get back with those high school assignments with following the players. Like I said, it's way more, it takes way more time to prepare and to bookkeep, but in the end it really paid off way more. Every adventure tailored to what they're trying to do, what they're choosing. Of course, I will put adversity, okay, bad guys trying to do stuff, events in the world surrounding them that might push them into doing some stuff, or try to restrain them into what they're doing. Be like, the shadow world that invade one of the adventure that I've made, the shadow worlds invading the kingdom. So that is some sort of a parameter, okay, that you have to deal with. So yeah, stuff will push them around, but in the end they will choose what they want to do, what there will be their goal. And yeah, that's why I do prefer doing my own stuff, that kind of freedom. And when I'm into a module, well, I feel restrained. So it's not that the modules are not good, it's not that the plot might not be good, but that really confirmed that, well, I won't run that much modules in the future. It will be quite rare. The closest I will get, it will be to take one-page dungeons. If you don't know about the one-page dungeon contest, this is pretty cool. In one page you have a small map, and what is on that map, usually that is how they present the stuff. And for me, that's quite enough, okay? Because there's a lot of gaps to fill into those one-page dungeons, so I fill that with whatever I want. So yeah, that was my ramble about modules. François Letarte for my role-playing game channel, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.